So in this lesson, we're going to talk about how you get your king into safety during the opening of a chess game. And we do this with a special move called castling. So in the last lesson, I brought you to this position where we were practicing on how to develop our pieces and the idea of how we use those to control the center. And I brought you to this position because it's one move away from practicing this special move called castling, that it's the only time in the game that the king can move 2 spaces. And then the rook swings around to the side. If you want to castle in this direction, you've got to get your queen out of the way, and it's usually customary to either move your queen to there or to here. Let's just say we move to here, and now white is set up to either castle in this direction like I just showed you, or now they can castle in this direction. In castling with this direction, it's the same setup, other than that there's 1, 2, 3 squares in between the king and the rook, versus over here where there's only 2 squares. But you castle the same way. The king moves 1, 2, and then that rook swings along to the other side. One thing you need to know about castling is that you cannot castle if you've moved your rook or if you've moved your king already. So if your opponent somehow got you to where you had to move your king or you had to move one of your rooks, it gets rid of the chance for you to get your king into safety using this special move called castling. So if you had moved this rook over to here at some point and then moved it back, you cannot castle in this direction any longer. If you haven't moved your king and you haven't moved this rook yet, you can still castle in this direction. The other rule you need to know is that you cannot castle through an attacked square. So let's imagine that this isn't our bishop. Let's imagine that this is one of your enemy bishops. And that bishop is attacking this long diagonal all the way through here. And so this rule says that the king cannot castle through an attacked square. So since this square is being controlled and attacked by that bishop, you cannot castle in this direction until either this piece moves or until you can get one of your pieces to block this long diagonal, like say maybe moving your knight to there. Now that diagonal is blocked and this square is not under attack any longer, so on the next move you would be able to castle if you wanted to. So real quick, I'm just going to show you this from start of the game. You're going to get your pawn in the middle, get your knight protecting it, get your other knight out, get your bishop out, get your other pawn in the middle so that you can get your dark squared bishop out, and then you got to decide if you want to castle on the next move to castle this way, which we call castling on the king side, or if you want to castle over here on the queen side of the board. And if you want to castle over this direction, you've got to make one more move to get your queen up, and then now you need to pick on which direction you want to castle. If you've been opening and your opponent is developing a lot of their strong pieces over here, it might be wise to castle in that direction. If they've got most of their pieces over here, maybe it's smarter to castle in this way. So at this point, choose to castle. Remember, the king goes 1, 2, rook swings around. And that is it for opening. You know you've successfully opened a chess game if you've got your pieces developed and your rooks are connected, so your rooks are working with each other. If you can remember this concept of castling and how to develop your pieces for the opening for this lesson, you're doing awesome. Thanks for watching.